Hey everybody, it's Matt taking a look today at this 720p HD DVR Dash camera by Scosche, now available at Best Buy. This is the first Scosche Dash camera that I've actually reviewed, and kind of excited to get into it. It's more of an introductory model for beginners. It's got a couple features here and there like G-sensor. It's got a 100-degree wide-angle lens, films at 16:9 resolution, mainly in 720p. It does have a form of 1080p, but it's through video interpolation, so not normally what you would expect in terms of full 1080p, but we'll hopefully take a look at that in the review at some point. This comes with a 16 gig memory card, upgradable to 32 gigs, and allows you to take the camera off the mount as well in case you need to take some pictures, and it functions as a camera too. So let's unbox, and I'll get this installed and we'll go for a drive. All right, so I've started the unbox. Here's the camera. As you can see, this is the back end that's going to be facing you, and that's the front facing out to your vehicle. So let's put that over there to the side. You've got your power source here. You've got an extra data cable here, and you've got your mount here, and then you've got your instructions. So you'll notice I didn't mention the micro SD card, and that actually threw me for a loop at the beginning. The micro SD card actually came inside the camera, so it was already in there. So this is your standard 360-degree swivel mount here, and it tightens up, and it's a suction cup mount. So gonna get this all installed in the vehicle, and we're gonna get started. Let's have a quick look at the camera before I go and install it in the car. So once again, this is the front side that's going to be facing out. There's your power button, your reset, and your mic. Your button features, which I'll show you once I have this plugged in. That's where your micro SD card goes. I just wanted to mention the swivel mount here, so just make sure you don't tighten it too much and it's not too loose, because you can over tighten and you might risk cracking this because this is plastic. But outside of that, it's pretty sturdy, and this affixes to the top of the camera here. So everything's good to go. Your 16 gig card, by the way, at 720p should hold approximately 2.5 hours of footage, maybe a little bit less, but 16 gigs should be pretty good to get started. And then obviously you can upgrade to 32 if you feel like you need it. So let's have a look at the menu options, and if this appears a little bit bright, I do apologize. My phone actually has a hard time filming this screen. So you can see the resolution choices. You've got your 1080p interpolated FHD or your 720p HD. I've been filming in 720 recently just for this review. Image quality, your continuous loop footage at either 1 to 3 minutes. It's got motion detection, white balance, and sharpness. Your screensaver will have the back screen here turn on and off after a certain period of time. You can either set it to off 10 or 30 seconds, audio on off, parking wake and G sensors on and off, time and language settings, date tag is whether or not the date will appear on your video footage itself, and then you can format your card at any time. You're probably going to end up formatting this a fair bit in the camera just because this doesn't overwrite its footage once it's done, and so you'll just get a prompt that says that the memory card's full. And then you can either reset the system, and then you can look at the version at any point as well. So to view any of your footage back, you just have to soft press the menu button here on the left side a couple times, and then you'll be able to go back and forth and look through all your footage. You can also obviously take the card out and view it on your computer itself, but as you can see, I'm capable of viewing the footage back on the camera like that. And I'm just going to take it inside and show you the videos a little bit closer in depth. Let's get to our main event here, which is the quality of picture footage. We're going to start with the 1080p FHD, which is essentially an interpolated 720p. That means it's not true 1080, but during the day here, it's not too bad. It actually performed a little bit better than I expected. We're going to blur license plates where we can for privacy's sake, but when you pull up behind a vehicle, it's still pretty nice and clear. I'm going to drop this down to full 720p, and again, not bad. I really wanted to see how this performed in the snow since I've never done a dash cam review this late in the year, and again, I think it's doing well here, but you can definitely tell there's a quality difference. The camera also comes with onboard G-sensor, parking wake, and motion sensor capabilities, which I think is pretty impressive offerings at this price point. You'd be best to adjust settings to your driving style and road conditions, and it might take a little bit of tinkering at night.
Footage-wise, though, I do think it's a little bit of a different quality story at night. But before I get there, I do need to talk about a couple issues I had with this camera. The suction cup mount needed a lot of time to warm up to my vehicle. Check this out. This unfortunately happened to me a few times in those early days, but once the plastic softened a bit, it was pretty smooth since then. However, the biggest problem I had was with the card. The memory card, yeah, it misfired a couple times to the point where at one time the camera would repeatedly turn on and off while I was driving. This was actually a bit of a distraction considering I was driving at like 6 o'clock at night and it was completely dark outside. And what ended up happening was, with all of this happening, it corrupted all my footage in the process. Formatting within the camera didn't work at all, and what finally did was removing the card from the unit, plugging it into a micro SD card reader on my computer, and reformatting and repartitioning it right there. I've had no problem since then, but it was a bit of a pain. Okay, let's take a look at the night footage. Here's the interpolated 1080p at night. It's alright for what is basically a frame fill 720p, but I do wish it was a little sharper. One of the things I always look for is how well it picks up things like license plate numbers. Struggles a bit with this at night, as you see. Again, I respect that this is a fairly entry-level camera, and so you're not going to be getting things like Sony StarVis technology and enhanced night vision, but as you can see, it's still a little bit on the blurry side. Here's 720p at night, and again, it's snowing. The quality difference is a little bit less noticeable at night in my opinion, but it's still there. So my last note here, the memory card fills really fast. It records in AVI format, and that means at 720p, it records around 184 megs a minute. At the interpolated 1080p, it's around 250. A 16 gig memory card fills up in about an hour, and as you heard me say, you're going to have to format the card a lot. In fact, you might have to format it every day because the footage doesn't overwrite itself when the camera is full, and I couldn't find a way on the camera to make it do that. You'll just get a message saying the card is full, and then you'll have to take action. The camera does format lightning fast, so it's a minor inconvenience at best, but still an inconvenience. But what I'll say is for its price point, it offers up enough that I'd say that if you're really budget conscious or just looking for a simple starter option, you could give this a shot. However, if you're okay to save a little longer or willing to bump your budget up to double or triple the cost of this camera, you'll have a lot better options to choose from. So once again, I do reiterate, this is a fairly entry-level dash cam. You're not going to get a lot of the fancy bells and whistles that you've seen in some of the other cameras that I've reviewed, but the price point does reflect that. The other thing that I just wanted to mention off the top is this does come with a 16 gig memory card, but because of the video encoding, the video size is pretty big for every minute that you record, so you might want to invest in a 32 gig micro SD as well. But in the meantime, this is the Scosche 720p dash cam, now available at Best Buy. My name is Matt. Thank you for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more dash cam reviews like this, and we'll see you next time.